The sleek display on my office wall tracked the numbers in real time. 99,999 successful procedures using the LifeFlow cardiac device. Any minute now, it would tick over to 100,000 lives saved. 100,000 families who still had their loved ones because a simple nurse refused to stay in her lane. Dr. Morrison and the other board members are still waiting in the lobby. My assistant Kate informed me through the intercom. It's been 3 hours. I smiled, remembering Dr. James Morrison's exact words 5 years ago at the Medical Device Innovation Board meeting. Miss Sullivan, perhaps you should stick to simple nursing. Leave the complex medical innovations to those more qualified. Now he and his colleagues were cooling their heels in my waiting room, desperate to partner with the company they'd once dismissed. Let them wait, I replied, turning back to the cardiac simulation running on my computer. I have more important things to focus on. The journey from ICU nurse to CEO of Meditech Innovations hadn't been easy. But every dismissive comment, every closed door, every patronizing smile had only fueled my determination to prove them wrong. My phone buzzed, a message from Dr. Sarah Martinez at Boston General. LifeFlow device just saved another one. Young mother, 3 kids. She's asking to thank you personally. I touched the screen, tears threatening despite my professional composure. This was why I'd fought so hard. Not for revenge, not for validation, but for moments like this. The wall display ticked over. 100,000. Kate's voice came through again. Dr. Morrison is insisting the board can't wait any longer. I stood, smoothing my blazer. Tell them I'll be right out. Walking through our research facility, I passed dozens of engineers and medical professionals, many of them former nurses like myself. People who understood that innovation doesn't care about titles or traditional hierarchies. I paused at our main laboratory window, watching teams work on our next-generation devices. The same laboratory they'd said a nurse couldn't possibly run. The same innovations they'd claimed were beyond my understanding. The memory of that first rejection still burned clear. 5 years earlier. Miss Sullivan, Dr. Morrison had said, barely glancing at my proposal. While your enthusiasm is admirable, cardiac device development requires extensive medical and engineering expertise. I'd stayed calm, though my hands shook slightly. I've been an ICU nurse for 12 years. I've seen exactly how current devices fail patients. And I have the solution. The board members exchanged condescending looks. Dr. Patricia Wells, the only woman present, at least had the decency to seem uncomfortable. The design is quite creative, she offered carefully. But perhaps you should focus on more appropriate innovations. Something simpler. I'd gathered my drawings and prototype sketches, but didn't leave. With respect, there's nothing simple about watching patients die because existing devices are too slow, too complicated, or too expensive. I've held their hands. I've looked into their families' eyes. And I know how to fix it. Miss Sullivan, Dr. Morrison had cut in sharply. Stick to nursing. Leave the complex medical innovations to those more qualified. That night, I'd spread my designs across my tiny apartment kitchen table. The LifeFlow cardiac device wasn't just an idea. It was born from thousands of hours watching existing devices fail. From countless moments when I'd thought, there has to be a better way. I'd already mortgaged my apartment and emptied my savings to develop the initial prototype. The board's rejection meant no funding, no support, no easy path forward. But easy wasn't why I'd become a nurse. Easy wasn't why I'd spent every free moment learning engineering and design. Easy wasn't going to save lives. So I'd done it the hard way. Working double shifts to fund development. Learning CAD design between patient rounds. Building a network of other medical professionals who saw the potential. The first breakthrough came 6 months later, 4.5 years earlier. It's working, Dr. James Chun, my former ICU colleague, breathed as we watched the prototype regulate blood flow in our makeshift lab. Olivia, it's actually working. I stared at the data readings, hardly daring to believe. After countless failed attempts, the device was performing exactly as I'd envisioned. We need to document everything, I said, already reaching for my laptop. Run it again. Multiple configurations. James shook his head in amazement. The board was wrong. This isn't just innovative, it's revolutionary. We worked through the night, testing and retesting. By morning, we had proof that the LifeFlow device could regulate cardiac function more efficiently, more reliably, and more affordably than anything on the market. But proof wasn't enough. We needed funding, FDA approval, manufacturing capabilities. And no one wanted to back a nurse-turned-inventor. Then came the moment that changed everything. For years earlier, Dr. Morrison's wife is coding. The shout echoed through the ICU where I still worked part-time. Current device is failing. I ran to the room, my prototype LifeFlow device in my locker, just down the hall. The choice was clear: risk my career by using an unapproved device or watch someone die. I have something that can help, I said, racing back with the prototype. It's not approved, but it will work. Dr. Wells, who'd been on the board that rejected me, was running the code. She looked at the device, then at me. Are you certain? Completely. She nodded once. Do it. The LifeFlow device performed flawlessly. Within minutes, Mrs. Morrison was stabilizing. By morning, she was awake and improving rapidly. Dr. Morrison came to find me later that day. Miss. Dr. Sullivan, he corrected himself. I believe we need to revisit your proposal. But by then, I didn't need their approval. The incident had caught the attention of Sarah Chun, a venture capitalist who specialized in medical technology. Forget the old boys club, she'd said after reviewing my data. Let's build something new. With Sarah's backing, Meditech Innovations was born. We hired the best engineers, conducted rigorous trials, and pursued FDA approval. Every step of the way, we heard the same doubts. A nurse-led company? Women don't understand complex medical engineering. It will never work at scale. We proved them wrong every time. 3 years earlier, the first mass-produced LifeFlow devices shipped to hospitals nationwide. I insisted that smaller hospitals be prioritized, places often overlooked by major medical suppliers. The results exceeded even our optimistic projections. Patient outcomes improved. Costs decreased. Lives were saved. Orders poured in from around the world. Hospitals reported unprecedented success rates. Medical journals published studies confirming what we'd known all along. Sometimes the best innovations come from those closest to the problems. Present day. The display now showed 100,003 lives saved. 3 more families whole. 3 more futures preserved while the board members waited in my lobby. I finally walked out to meet them, remembering how they'd once made me wait for hours only to dismiss my ideas. Gentlemen, Dr. Wells, I greeted them. I apologize for the delay. We've been rather busy saving lives. Dr. Morrison stepped forward, his earlier arrogance replaced by something approaching desperation. Dr. Sullivan, we'd like to discuss a partnership between the Medical Device Innovation Board and Meditech. A partnership? I kept my voice neutral. I thought nurses shouldn't concern themselves with complex medical innovations. Dr. Wells winced at the reference to their past dismissal. We were wrong, she said simply. Your work has revolutionized cardiac care. I led them through the facility, past laboratories where teams of nurses worked alongside engineers, past training rooms where we taught medical professionals to use our devices, past walls lined with patents and awards. The medicine of tomorrow, I told them, won't care about titles or traditions. It will care about results. About lives saved. About problems solved. We reached my office, where the display now showed 100,007 lives saved. So yes, let's discuss partnership, I continued. But understand this, Meditech will remain nurse-led. We'll continue prioritizing innovations that serve all patients, not just those in prestigious hospitals. And we'll never tell anyone to stick to simple nursing again. Dr. Morrison nodded slowly. We understand. Your vision has been extraordinary. I thought about all the nights I'd doubted myself, all the moments their words had echoed in my head. But more importantly, I thought about all the lives saved, all the families still whole, all the future innovations yet to come. No, I corrected him. My vision was simply clear. Sometimes the best person to solve a problem is the one who sees it every day. Sometimes the most qualified innovator is the one who refuses to accept that things can't change. After they left, I stood at my window, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of possibility. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new doubts to overcome, new lives to save. But tonight, I allowed myself to appreciate how far we'd come. From a nurse with a dream to a company transforming medical care. From rejected innovator to revolutionary leader. Kate appeared with the evening reports. Another record day, she noted. And the partnership offers keep coming in. They finally see what's possible, I said, touching the display that now showed 100,012 lives saved. But we're just getting started. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't proving others wrong. It's proving yourself right. And sometimes the most powerful innovation comes from those who refuse to stay in their lane. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Stay stunned.